What's going on, y'all? It's Jason Reviews here, back at it again with another recap. My recap here for the top five performers on the Civil War 3 card. Extremely talked about card. Was in the building for every event this weekend, and in my opinion, this was clearly the event of the weekend, even including the pay per view events. So many good battles here. And usually I do top three, most disappointing, top three, most impressive. But when a card reaches a certain level of good, I personally just think that we're better off going with the top five performers. Just focus more in on like the great talent. Because I'm telling you, about 85 to 90% of this card is like really great. There's really not three performers that I think just fully underperformed to make like a substantial other half of the list. So we're going to talk about all the battles we usually do. We're going to start out with the battles where neither guy involved made it, some of the performers that just missed the list that were still good. And then we're going to hop into my ranked top five performers from the night for the card. So super duper dope card. And one more thing, Tay Rock versus Kid Slade, I'm omitting from this. Obviously, there's a million and nine things going on with that. With the paperwork, we all know what's going on there. Details are being worked out. Fraction of it's true, some of it's being stretched, some of it we don't really even know yet, and it's just not something I want to get into on this channel. I'm gonna let that work its way out, and we're gonna see how that plays out throughout the week through battle rap. But in terms of ranking performers, neither of them really blew the building off. The energy was weird, and that clearly has that stepped into something that's really just beyond the battle. So that neither of those guys will be making the list, kind of omitting both. Without further ado, let's start with the people that just missed the list. So as for people that aren't going to make it, Hansel had a very good performance in his opening battle versus Ease. Particularly liked his first round. His Australia Continental bar, which you guys will see, was really good. And his first is like an extremely good round. Throughout the battle, he ended up just going up against a special performance, which we'll get into when we get into the top five. So for that reason, and just other people being great, he didn't make the list. But I think Hansel had a very respectable performance. Wanted to mention him, and that he did indeed do good. The one battle that I think was a complete miss was Chef Trez versus Nun Nun. Simply just wasn't all that good. Material wise, kind of, really one of Nun Nun's weaker showings of 2022, if not his weakest showing of 2022. And Chef Trez, in my opinion, kind of took a step down from the authentic battle. I thought he had great material in that. In this battle, I don't think it was bad, but it was definitely regular. I think some of his opening rebuttals were good. In the second round, he had a bar about, I watch college over the NBA now because they trap better. I love that. That was in the second. But for the most part, this is about Nun Nun having a rough performance and Chef Trez just kind of handling business. Very light 30, in my opinion. And the crowd completely disrespected both of them. Never down with that, even if I am myself critical of the material too. You got to let these guys rap. We're not the rappers. We bought a ticket to watch them. How you going to buy a ticket to watch them and then talk through the rounds? That would make no goddamn sense. So, not the best performance. I did have Chef Trez 3-0, but, both of those gentlemen will miss the list. And the one last battle that both gentlemen will miss the list, but was a very good contested battle is O-Red versus True Foe. Dope back and forth. I had all three rounds as debatable. I mean, it is extremely tightly contested, and both of them brought great performances. Both of their first, second, and third are very good. I will say the one thing that might hurt the battle footage-wise is as the battle went on, and being that O-Red is part of the battle, this is no shocker, but kind of both of them got criminally slept on, specifically Red. I mean, Red had an extremely good second and third, and they really didn't pop for about 60 to 70% of his material, the crowd. And it was good material. A lot of the more creative faux flips that I've heard, great rapping. He did end up losing his voice. One of the better, I'm going to call it was like a pseudo stage, more like a Born Legacy setting, 200 to 300 people. But even then, O-Red, I thought, really did a good job, as my voice goes out, holding it down. I had a solid performance, same for Foe. Me, personally, I edged the first two rounds to Red, but as I said, all three rounds are debatable. When you get to that, you could literally call it Foe 1-3, Foe 1-2, Red 1-3, Red 2-3. I mean, there's so many different ways this battle can get mixed up. So it's just a goodie, and I think you guys will very much so enjoy it. So without further ado, let's get into the top five performers of Civil War 3. And at number 5, we do have Clean Paper. His opponent, Stumbles, another one I missed that isn't going to make the list. Stumbles wasn't that bad either, but the story of this battle is going to be all about Clean's first two rounds. Although Stumbles opened up with a decent first, was pretty cleansely, and slight stumbles, but pretty cleansely through his whole performance. Clean's first round was special, man. How he had these long setups, and he used comedy all throughout the setup, and it would lead to these bombs at the end. Like he opened up a little bit of comedy. You know what I don't like, dog. He goes from here. I don't know if that's a specific line that we use. We all know that's one of Clean's phrases, but it was about like an 8 bar lead up and said how a motherfucker gonna be stand up and name Stumbles? I butchered the hell out of that, but he had a bar around that type of concept that was just dope, and that's what he really did all throughout the first 2 rounds. He mixed comedy with real talk. And on top of that, he already is a naturally gifted performer. I just think when you look at these first 2 rounds from Clean Paper when it drops, this is really peak Clean Paper. I mean, I don't know what else to say. This guy is not just giving Stumbles trouble. He could give any battle rapper in the world trouble when he has this many facets of battle rap in the first. He's writing well. He's performing well. He's making the crowd laugh. He's actually has bar like haymakers at the end. Just great, great, great. As the third goes on, he definitely mails it in. Stumbles kind of has his best round. It's not a crazy round, but his third is his best. And Clean pretty much just like jokes around, kind of like remembering his material as it goes, it looks like, and gives Stumbles the third. So that probably holds Clean from being higher on the list. If his third was like his first 2, we could be talking about Clean as like a top 3 performer of the night. But either way, his return to URL, he's looked extremely motivated. This is another clear win for him back on the brand. And just extremely impressed with Clean Paper's performance, and that's what lands him at number 5 on the list. Moving right along, we can get to number 4, and this is someone who I did not have winning their battle, but was so good that I still think he had to make the top 5 here, and that is Real Sick. Real Sick's first round for New Jersey Twork is one of the best rounds I've heard Real Sick spit, and especially in a battle where a lot of people say if Twork has 3 rounds, there's just nothing you can do about it. Twork had a clean and good, not great, but a good first round. And Real Sick simply had better material, better peaks, and took the first round pretty clearly, in my opinion. His medium bar, which, for any of you guys that want to see maybe some of the bars specifically that went down, I'm kind of not trying to quote it super heavy here to give you guys, you know what I'm saying, that little bit of a surprise when the tape comes out. But my Twitter, I did do live updates. So if you want to get any more into the bar for bar stuff, at JSmo Reviews on Twitter, I have, a lot more bars up there from when I was live updating the event. But his medium bar in the first was... Man, it was special. Even in his third round, the way that he was able to flesh out the car crash angle, even though it's been used against Twork a lot, he had some of the more original and really good punches out of it. Just a really solid, good to great 3 rounds. First round, great. Second round, good. Third round, somewhere between good and great. And although I did have him losing the battle, we'll get into the intricacies of, exactly which rounds I had him losing as we get higher up. I did think that this was a great, great performance. It's another good loss for Sick. And I know people want to see Sick win, but man, he's facing 3 rounds of Twork, one of the best Tworks we've had in some time. And yeah, you're not going to win. It's tough. I too want to see him get some more clear wins. Eventually, good losses can only get you so far, but I'm not going to sit here and pretend like he had a bad performance. He had absolutely, one of the best performances of the night, and that's what lands Real Sick at number 4 on the list. And then we're cracking into the top 3 performers of the night. And at number 3, this is someone that I was critical of from their final exams. And man, I have done a full 180 on this guy after seeing his performance versus Hansel. And that's why I have Ease at number 3 here on the list. That country, draw that he has, obviously has a unique sound, but I was worried versus Clean. He had some good moments of bars, but dry spots where I was like, I don't know, can his pen consistently do what it has to do to be competitive from the front to back of a round? Boy, let me tell you, he's got that. I was wrong, and I have to stand on that for sure. Pleasantly wrong, because this guy might be a superstar talent. As I spoke on, Hansel started first and had a very, very good first round, extremely powerful. Ease responded with just as powerful of a first, and in my opinion, kind of snatched the momentum and edged the round. His walk down on hands like the Exorcist, that was like his second bar in, yo. That's really amazing. Just the hands-free bars, so many bars in the first. I don't want to spoil all the bars that he had, but the big story here is the second and the third. This man clearly took the second and the third, and specifically in his I believe it was in his second round, he said, "I'm gonna leave a body of water by a body of water like TLC." Oh my God, man. Just everything about from his performance, the Run DMC, the Yin Yang Twins bar, the waterfall. I just didn't know his performance was there, his energy was there. We know Ease had that, but the level that he was writing at in this battle to me blew me away. Type of impressive, and for the fact this to be the opener and 2 of the newer cats and on a really pretty star-studded card. and for Ease to be top three, that should tell you that amongst great performances from other top tiers, Ease belonged and was near the top of the pack. Even his third round, he gets into his Real Talk bag, and his Real Talk bag is extremely polished too. This is just an all-around talent. If he's able to have bars like that, I mean, he's not going to rap at this level. That would be a lot to ask for this level of haymakers and name flips every battle. But if he can write anywhere close to this on a battle-to-battle basis, the Real Talk and the performance pretty much comes natural to him. This guy is a problem. Ease, you are a problem, man. Fantastic performance. These are the type of performances that lead guys to becoming top tier. We expected Ease to be good. He went above and beyond, went above what was expected of him, and gave in a fantastic performance. So impressed. I can't praise him enough, and that's why he comes in at number 3 on the list. And that leads us into the runner-up spot, which for my Traffic 5 recap, you guys remember when I did top 5 performers, I had a 2A, 2B. And very similar here at the runner-up spot, at 2A and 2B, I have Nitty and Fonz. Battle of the night to me, one of the best battles that has happened this year. Another guy that I for sure have to give my apologies to. Due to, the patterns going in, I was very unconfident. Fonz had not had a debatable with the top tier yet. His track record against the elites was just a little suspect, even with punchers specifically. And in this battle, this is an extremely debatable, extremely high-quality battle. The only clear separation in here is the first round, where Rum just has, we know what Rum's doing in 2022, and this is just a further, performance that cements just how fucking good Rum Nitty's been this year. Even with the flu, his first round, the dictionary, the screenshot bar, which is probably, it was the most quoted bar that I had on there that got the most love from my updates. Absolutely incredible. And Fonz had a decent first. I let this lemon off a lot like a car salesman, but Rum Nitty was able to clearly take that first. But when you get into the second and the third here, Fonz just has a comeback second that really is one of the best rounds of his career, in my opinion. When his back was against the wall and when you're predicted to be down 30 like that, a lot of guys would fold in front of competition like that when they go down the clear 1-0 and they've been predicted to be the underdog. But Fonz's second, in my opinion, is really one of the best rounds I've ever heard him rap. The Arnold Palmer bar, the send a surge in, he had a Cuz web flip in there, and the Real Talk bar that he ended up having about his nephew dying, and my condolences to his family. I know Fonz, a lot of battles got canceled. He had a lot going on in his life outside of battle rap, which I'm sure did not help. That's why a lot of his opportunities, he'd be booked, he went out. We know how many battles Fonz had to unbook. And my sister came in the house looking like Shanae. I could see the pain in her face. Oh my God, man. And I've always said that Fonz is going to be a perennial top tier talent. I think he needed more time to develop. But on this night, he definitely proved. I think Fonz is just ready to keep running the top tier gauntlet and building his resume. Rum Nitty has an incredible second as well. He had this Windsor, it was like a tie scheme that he did, was absolutely incredible. He had the Draymond J.R. Smith bar, another incredible haymaker. The second, it's weird to say because they both have the same style, but it's really going to come down to if you're just really if you're a fan of the way Fonz sets his shit up a little bit more, you're probably going to go with Fonz. He probably had, by punch count, more punches, which is incredible when you're going up against Rum Nitty. It just goes to show how much of a great performance he had. So by punch count, he might have had a little more. Me personally, I thought Nitty was a little bit more layered in his setups and writing, and his peak bars to me I just preferred a little bit over Fonz's peaks. It's going to be a complete toss-up round. I personally edged Nitty. And as for the third, I comfortably gave Fonz the third round. I don't know if it's going to be clear because I believe it was close, but George Washington bar, Scary Movie 3, once again, his fake kicks NFL bar. I'm not going to get into the setups because, like I said, there's so many punches here. You guys are going to want to see it for yourself, but just really had an incredible showing. And although I had, my personal pick, I had Nitty 2-1, but this is going to be an extremely debatable battle. If it's not a classic, it is just right a click outside of it. And shout out to Fonz, man. Like I said, a lot of people had you 30 going in, and you gave one of the best performances of your career. You seized the moment. You went up against one of the best alive right now, and debatably won the battle. Just really incredible. I believe it's a net positive showing from both. Should help both in those Cody rankings and arguments as we get to the bottom of the year. And this is the punch fest that we had hoped for. Shout out to these gentlemen for what they've given us. And then that leads us into the number one performer of the night. Who do I think was the best? That leaves New Jersey Twork. As I spoke to earlier, I did have him losing the first round, although his first round was good. But as you get into the second and the third, you get one of the most well-rounded twerks we have ever seen to date. The second round is really just mainly a punch round. The Dave Chappelle bar, the bucket list bar, South. I mean, he just generally outperformed and outpunched Sick in the second to clearly get the second. But his third has approaches, breaking down the 5Ks of Sick's beliefs, which I didn't even know about, with the whole Sick belief system. That was incredible. Had another bar coming at smack, landed a huge haymaker, and had a fake choke. And although fake chokes get a little bit oversaturated, especially when you choke as much as Twerk has, uh, uh, the way that he executed this one, you guys are going to love. It was definitely deserving of the reaction he got. Very introspective third. And to see Twerk not just have the punches and performance, but to have the approaches and kind of, real substance to go with it. This is really one of the better Twerks I've ever seen personally. Completely clean, all three. And if you can give us one or two more of these, I'd officially say that Twerk is back. And for me, he was the performer of the night at Civil War 3. And that is my full roundup of the top 5 performers of the night on Civil War 3. Hopefully, I try to keep it quick and concise. I have a shit ton of notes here, but I don't like to just throw all the bars at you guys, because even that's not really a lot to digest. I wanted to explain more just the specifics in game, Clean's use of comedy in his setups to pull off haymakers. Twerk having real approaches and angles, because to me, especially with punches, an angle punch that's executed correctly is going to hit over any other punch. It provides that substance of coming at your opponent while still having the fantastic wordplay that the standard haymaker would give you. So it's just little things like that where I saw a lot of guys that were extremely motivated and gave the best performances of their 2022. Pretty much everyone on this card, for the most part, had standout showings or some of their better showings of the year. And to me, it's definitely going to be in that conversation for one of the best events of the year, even with a main event that is surrounded in more controversy than it is actual good battle rap. So overall, I was very happy to be there the whole weekend. Ladies Volume recap will be coming tomorrow. We'll be switching back to top 3 most impressive, top 3 most disappointing for that. But even that, to me, was probably the second best card of the weekend. The ladies kicked ass. I can't wait to go over that. But very honored to be there. Very honored all the love you guys have shown me. I went full media. I was in the trenches this weekend. Plenty of new people that followed me. Thank you guys for that. Stuck with me for the updates. And I just can't wait to keep bringing you guys more content as we get to the end of the year. 2022 has ended for a year that I've critiqued and said was a rough year for battle rap. And overall, it was still probably a downish year, especially coming off 2021. But we're definitely ending it on a sprint. And I was just very, very honored to be in the building for all of these different events. But you guys let me know down in the comments below, what performance are you the most excited to see from the Civil War 3 card? Which one did you see tweets for that you're like, that's the battle that I have to see? Let me know in the comments down below. And it's been J Smo Reviews again, y'all. Let me catch you on the next one. Peace.